Scholars, welcome back to the counselor's office. You know, I've been cleaning throughout the summer. I've been cleaning my house and getting rid of a bunch of trash, reorganizing a lot of the house. Go figure, when you haven't really interacted with most of your house for like 2-3 years and you find out, man, there's a lot of stuff I have. Why do I have it? And or where I've been looking for that. One of the things I found, and I found this 2 terabyte solid state drive Samsung, and I looked it up to see how much does this thing cost. Cost, you know, mid $300 to $400 for 2 terabyte solid state. I'm like, oh, well, damn. When did I buy this? I just found it randomly. I know it's not bad or anything. It's out of its package. I don't remember when I bought it, but I know it's good. It was never really moved. It wasn't smashed. It's in good condition, but I have this memory. Solid state drive. Well, hot damn. Anyways, that was just the intro. I just felt like talking about it because it was random. You know what's not random? Prices are going up. We're talking about gaming. Gaming is on fire. Specifically, you know, and it's not just Sony, though we will be shitting on Sony. Just FYI, as someone who mostly plays on PlayStation, and I said this to my chat, we're recording live right now. When Black Ops 1 and 2 comes to PlayStation, I'm going to openly say that I'm being a hypocrite. I'm going to suck Sony's dick and buy both of them. Because I love Black Ops 1 and 2, my most favorite Call of Duty games. And this will be the one time you don't have to worry about playing against cheaters because they're going to have their own servers, which is nice, even though they're just ports that are going to be, you know, squeezing money out of you. I'm going to be a good little pay piggy for this. But I've also decided in compensation, I'm no longer going to buy the new God of War because it's not Kratos. What I will do, though, is as my part of the boycott is I'm going to live stream a no commentary run of it, and we're going to watch it together while I also give commentary because legally that's for use. So I will be doing fair use. I will not be buying the $80 game. Instead, I'll be buying 2 $40 games instead. But that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be sucking dick, but I also won't be sucking dick because I won't be buying the new God of War. I'll be saving some money. Anyways, I know, long-winded intro, but we've got to get straight into it with the comment of the day. I don't know why it sounds like this. It just does. Really weird. That's right. Comment of the day. I forgot what was the comment of the day. Why did I do that? That's right. This is the comment of the day. Me giving my comment on this. So this is why people hate journalists. Polygon, 8 years later, let's all admit Red Dead Redemption 2 is a terrible game. And the comments from Chibi Robo 1. Put the fries in the bag. Yeah, I know it's completely random, but I feel like when we're talking about games, I want to mix it up and have a little, especially since I can't make a whole video talking about this, but this is why people don't like game journalists. And if you're trying to rage bait as a professional, you know, journalist, I don't know if you should be rage baiting, especially when you're saying something you know is going to piss people off. What the fuck is wrong with you? But there you go. There's your comment of the day. So we're going to be reacting to this video by Young Ye. Sony PlayStation faces mass rebellion and vicious mockery after killing physical discs. Now, before we even watch this, we're going to react to a couple things about PlayStation and then jump into it. By the way, I'm going to say right now, Nintendo's getting some flack here, and so is Microsoft because they're also doing layoffs, I think, within this week. I'm recording currently on a Friday. Yeah, I'm recording on a Friday, so that's what you can expect, right? So we got Pyro. With over 100 million views, the PlayStation post has been community noted. The pushback against this is as strong, if not stronger, worldwide than the PS3 launch. Get a second job. So yeah, so we got digital purchase grants a revocable license to access content, not ownership. Sony recently removed hundreds of purchased studio channel movies from libraries due to licensing. Yeah, so a lot of people are pushing back. It's good to see. Like, I don't know. Like, you got to speak with your money and not like we saw this pushback with Netflix, right? We saw the pushback with Netflix and people when they removed the share option and made people have to actually pay for their own, right? And people bitched about it, and then they saw, you know, Netflix saw a massive increase in sales, but then Netflix has been increasing prices and not giving any good, like, you know, first party releases that no one actually cared about. And so now you've seen people stop, you know, they're losing money now. So it's a back and forth. Like I think when you see money in the situation, people will be like, no, I'm not gonna give you more money for less. Whereas they take something away, like being able to share with your family or be able to have physical disc, which then you can share with friends and family or sell. People are probably not, they're going to probably continue. Again, I said at the beginning, I'm being hypocritical. I'm sucking their dick for some Black Ops 1 and 2. But outside of that, I'm trying to boycott Sony, right? I'm trying to lead the charge, but I'm being brutally honest when I'm sucking that dick, right? I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest, right? Disaster. Rockstar orders the removal of all PlayStation advertising to distance itself as much as possible from the shit it got. The PlayStation app no longer has the GTA theme, and the X page removed the GTA banner. Things were, oh my god, that's bad. That is bad. If true. Rock solid. So here we go. This is regional pricing, ability to lend games, refunds. PlayStation's notorious for not doing refunds unless it was, you know, specific games. I think they did for No Man's Land, Sky, and unless no, that's on PC. Cyberpunk. I know Cyberpunk they did. Backwards compatibility, PS4 only. Region changing, cloud saves. You have to pay for it. Game sharing, no. Xbox, yes, there is regional pricing. Ability to lend games, no. Refunds, yes. Backwards, yes. Region changing, yes. Cloud saving, yes. Nintendo, yes. Ability to share, yes. Refunds, no. Yeah, they don't like that. Nintendo One only. Region changing, cloud paid, and then Steam. People are like, well, it's the same thing for Steam. Oh. Yeah, you know what's not the same thing from Steam? Look at the graph. Do you see the graph? I'm going to download the graph so I can point at the graph every time I get a stupid comment about, you know, Steam being the same thing. It's not the same thing. They actually take care of their customers, whereas PlayStation is, you know what's sad? When Nintendo is no longer looking like the Satan of gaming, Sony is. The only thing that's keeping Sony from being the Satan of gaming is quite literally the fact that Nintendo cease and desist everything. What, you're a wrestler, Cody Rhodes, with a Nintendo thing on your belt? Cease and desist. What's that? You want to host a local tournament? Cease and desist. What's that? You made a fan game that's for free? Cease and desist. What's that? You know, a couple of years ago, if you remember, what's that? You're streaming our games? You making YouTube videos? Cease and desist. Like, holy shiitake. Like, the Nintendo is literally the shittiest game company. They're great to their employees, but they're so anti-consumer, it's not even funny. But literally, as you can see, they're trying. They are trying. Sony's trying to compete. Yep, there it is. What surprise do you have prepared, Nintendo? Yeah. I don't know what Steam's doing to itself, but yeah. That's about right. Oh, and so here comes the memes. We've got to have a little haha funnies, right? Breaking news. DMC official statement. In response to trends in the automotive industry, as of April 1st, 2027, DeLorean will continue producing physical DeLoreans while expanding into digital DeLoreans. Consumers will be able to download our full range of iconic digital DeLoreans and enjoy them in the entire virtual sense. We respect the physical world. We believe in the digital one, and we think the best future is the one where both move forward equally, preferably at 88 miles per hour. You gotta love them. We got GitHub. We heard you and agree. In light of recent development in physical media, GitHub is proud to announce that you can now obtain your public repo on CD-ROM. Keep it, lend it to friends, pass it to your children. Your code is physically yours forever until you lose it. Let's be real. Order yours today. It keeps going, though. G Fuel. I love G Fuel. Important read. To our community, in response to the gaming industry's continued shift toward digital ownership, G Fuel will be discontinuing all physical tubs, cans, and sticks packs April 1st, 2027. Moving forward, all flavors will be available exclusively as downloadable flavor files. Fans will be able to access our full catalog of delicious digital flavors. Imagine the same delicious taste, energy, and focus in a completely virtual format. No shakers required, no shipping delays. Now, powder on your desk, just pure cloud-based fuel. God, I love this. But it keeps going. We'll get to that. Is there more? Yes, the original Domino's. Dude, Domino's has been shitting on games. I don't know what got Domino's involved, but Domino's has been throwing shade at everyone. Domino's official. In response to the trends to the gaming industry, as of April 1st, 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only. Consumers will be able to download our full range of delicious pizza codes and use the power of imagination. Enjoy them in any entirely virtual sense. If you're PlayStation, you've got to be fucking embarrassed. But at the same time, I don't think they give a shit. Their stocks literally went up. They're literally being, rewarded for shit behavior. I don't think they actually give a shit about people's opinions on them. GameSir will cease productions of physical copies of controllers and shift to digital ones. Nice. I'm gonna have to read all of them. We got more. Official statement. In response to recent trends in gaming industry, Melbourne Bytes is meeting the demand for physical releases starting April 2028. Millions of users around the world trust Melbourne to keep their devices virus-free. Now we'll keep you virus-free. They're doing the reverse. They're like, they were digital, but now they're going physical. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Even KFC, you wouldn't steal fried chicken. KFC was the real shit stirrer. They used to throw shade all the time. This is good. You wouldn't steal a hand. Respawn, in response to trends in the gaming industry as of April 1st, 2028, Respawn products will gradually cease production of physical chairs and shift to digital chairs only. Running with scissors. In response to the trends of the gaming industry, we just wanted to inform everyone that the game industry is really fucked beyond repair. Have a postal day. Beyond repair. Bro, these are great. What is this one? This is like 21 seconds. Let's see what people have to say about this and then watch the video. Some of these are really fucking good, man.
This is a cost-saving measure for Sony, but those cost-saving measures do not pass on to the consumer. They get to save on manufacturing. They get to save on packaging. They get to save on shipping.
Yep.
But the games still cost the same. They're going to cost full charge on the store, and retailers don't have a say in that. So consumers just get way less options as a result of this. This is a cost-saving measure.
We all see this. We all understand this. None of this is for the benefit of the consumer. None of what they're doing is for our benefit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and preemptively put this thing on like speed boost. If you don't like this, the original video will be down below, but this is a react. So I am going to boost the playback. I'll try to match his speed, but I do talk a lot. And so I'm trying to be cognizant of not spending, hours and hours, but I'm passionate about gaming. What do you expect?
Video. It's been about 24 hours since Sony and PlayStation announced that production of physical discs would be ending in January of 2028, and that Any games released thereafter would be fully digital. Sony is straight up killing physical media, and I suspect that the rest of gaming will follow suit. And this is something...
Again, I do agree. He doesn't have any music, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep playing my music then. I fully agree with this statement. Just so we're all clear, I fully agree that you're going to see Microsoft and Nintendo is going to be... Nintendo started it. Nintendo pioneered going digital with their little cards. Like they've already started. So we know everyone's going to jump on board this ship.
That has a lot of implications. I mean, starting with the fact that Sony recently deleted a bunch of movies, over 550 movies,
this was
from
massive.
Purchasers' libraries, and this is not streaming. These are like purchase.
One thing I do want to change is I do see myself like being a problem here. I don't want to cover him up. I'm also not trying to cover the title. I'm trying to be very purposeful about this, so I'm just gonna chill over here.
Purchase products that they've decided they are stripping from players' libraries because of license expiration. Just a reminder that when it comes to digital products, you own absolutely nothing. And amidst all that, they also announced recently, alongside the eradication.
I'm gonna go to my profile. Oh yeah, I guess we should mention this. PlayStation lay off multiple studios, lay off developers known for making a popular live service game, Bungie Destiny. Declare you're still dedicated to pushing the live service games, even though you're 1 for 12 on failed games. Announce removal of physical disc. Remove 500 digital purchased movies shows from consumers without no refunds. Shut down PS3 Vita digital store, removing all access to older games. Increase console prices, increase subscription prices, increase game prices, and continue to push AI so you can fire more devs and continue pushing out content no one asked for, because Sony says AI will be a bigger part of PlayStation's future, and is making it one of the company's main priorities. Again, none of this is... Everything we talked about here is not for the consumer's benefit or even the employees at this point. This is all for them to make money. And when they fuck up, they make things that you don't want. They don't go to the drawing board and say, hey, we need to look at what our consumers want. No, they're just going to continue to just throw things at the wall and make everyone else suffer for it. Oh yeah, and then this, I want to make note of this. I don't know if he will, but I want to make note of it. According to Christopher Ding, Sony is currently facing multiple legal cases over claims that the PlayStation Store has too much power over digital game sales, which now it's creating a monopoly. Now, whether this is successful, I don't know. There was like the whole thing about Apple. I think Fortnite lost that fight about them building a monopoly. I don't remember what really happened. There was a very long going, fight, but we will see, considering now that they're removing physical discs, the only way to buy PlayStation games is now only on PlayStation. I mean, to me, it sounds like a monopoly. If you can't buy it anywhere else and you can't buy it at a discount, if they have complete control, then yeah. But then, so here, again, this is my response. It's a pirate life for me, A7. That's where I'm at.
Occasion of physical media, the shutdown of the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores. While they say right here that players will still be able to download previously purchased content, this is to ease the transition, indicating that there's a transition period and eventually you will not be able to download previously purchased content. All that digital content that you purchase will be eradicated.
Unless you currently have a PlayStation 3 and you can quickly download as much stuff as you can, it's gone. It's over. Or you buy a PlayStation, which we saw kind of with it. Funny enough, this is gonna be a little throwback. The was it the Silent Hill demo? Was it Silent Hill? I think it was Silent Hill, the demo with the hallways. People, they completely removed that from the PlayStation Store, but if you had it physically on it, people were selling their consoles for a shit ton for that. And people were buying them. People were buying PlayStations with the demo on for the Silent Hill demo that was no longer downloadable. I don't think that's good. First off, that should not be how you conserve video games, is fighting over each other to get a console that may not even last that long. 2, they don't last that long. Once that you say you have like thousands of consoles that have all these games downloaded. Well, once they die, they die. There is no preservation, which is why piracy is not stealing. It's making copies, and it's preserving, and it's also giving a fuck you to Sony.
Amidst all this, there is
Which I will announce that for the foreseeable future, if there's a way to make pirate, I will be pirating. I will buy physical copies of games, but I will be also pirating at the same time so that I always have a copy. I paid for it, and when people were like, did you pay for it? I did. Here's my receipt. I paid for it, but I also have a copy that I will have forever because fuck you. You don't get to choose to take it away. I paid for it. It said buy, which means I buy it. It didn't say rent. If you want me, you rent you a subscription or a service, then you say it's a rent. But I purchased it. It's mine. Fuck you.
Storage cost crisis going on right now thanks to AI, and with physical media dying, it means that storage is more important than ever, except storage is also more expensive than ever.
Yes,
alongside that, there are concerns about backwards compatibility. People have huge collections of physical media that when PlayStation 6 comes around, it being an all digital console, they won't be able to take their physical discs into the next generation, so that's also incredibly shitty. And then alongside that, a lot of people are bringing up the fact that Sony and PlayStation will have full control over the prices of their games.
Yeah, they'll have full control, and that's another thing is, so we talked about in the other video, Sony's already has in play, varying prices depending on user. They can decide if there's a discount. They decide how much of it you get. I didn't hear about the Vita. Yes, rest in peace, Vita. Talk all you want. It's your channel. Well, I appreciate that. I see an explosion in piracy and emulation programs to play. I think I'm going to start, if there's people who are working on programs to be able to play emulate PlayStation 5. I know it's a challenge. It's a back and forth fight to emulate certain things. I will, if they have like a GoFundMe or like a Patreon or whatever, like a coffee link, I would actually start supporting those people because they are the only ways that you can play these games. I'm glad I made copies of like Resistance 1, 2, and I think 3. I downloaded the emulator and I have it in a cloud save and a physical, disk drive. I have multiple copies of a bunch of all the old Pokemon games. I have a bunch of games that are saved so I can emulate them. And I'm glad I did because this is what happens. PlayStation 3 and Vita are shutting down. Now the only way to play those games is by emulating them. Or if Sony decides to bring them forward as a port, you can spend $50 to be able to play them again.
Something that physical media allows is reselling and in turn buying games for cheaper. That is something that will be eradicated. For example, Metal Gear Solid Delta. If you go to Amazon right now to buy the physical media, it's $25. But if you want to buy it on the PlayStation Store, you better be ready to shell out $70. And tweets like these are going viral, having millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes. And yeah, we're gonna be looking at a lot of viral tweets and posts and all of the mass rebellion that is currently erupting against Sony and PlayStation on a level that is unprecedented. I haven't seen backlash like this in a very, very...
No, we already reviewed people making fun of them. You have all these companies making fun of them. The problem is the only way to hurt them... And by the way, I said the stock earlier was up. That is in response to shareholders and people seeing, the physical disc saving money. But when you actually start canceling your subscriptions, you stop buying their games... and you stop buying their consoles, that will hurt them. I have no plans to buy a PlayStation 6. First off, it's gonna be $1,000. With $1,000 fucking dollars, I can upgrade a rig. I could buy a new graphics card. I can buy more RAM. I could buy more storage. Why the fuck would I buy a useless piece of shit? Like, it took years for the PlayStation, 5 to get its value for me. The only 2 games I played were Final Fantasy and God of War. And then I bought them on PC. And now, there's only, a couple of games that I play on the PlayStation more than the Xbox. But at this point, then I'm better off buying the Switch now that they're starting to finally crank out games for them. It only took a couple years. But that's the problem, is that prices are going up. They're not pushing out enough content for these games, but they want to cancel and lock off your ability to play older games.
long time. But another example is the fact that Sony is currently charging first-party game God of War Ragnarok $70 digitally. And guess what? If you go to Walmart, it's $32. If you buy secondhand physically, it's significantly cheaper. That aspect of the gaming market completely eradicated. And the thing about this direction with gaming is that it is kind of unique.
That's the thing. You're going to see a lot of companies being threatened by this decision. And I've said this before. It's a privilege to exist. It's not a right. As in, we see people going out of business all the time. It happens. But I think people going out of business because of an anti-consumer choice made by a very, very rich company, not because the consumer chose it. You know, it's one thing if I go to Walmart instead of a local, I get my food from Walmart instead of going to the local neighborhood market. Well, as a consumer, I made that choice on my own. But it's almost as if Walmart came up and put blockades around the warehouse market or the local neighborhood market, whatever. They blocked it off so you no longer have access to it. Well, that's kind of different. That's not the consumer choosing. That's the greedy assholes company that's making the decision for you. You don't get a choice. And so these people are going to lose their jobs, not because the consumer chose to go for other business and services. It's because this greedy asshole company said, fuck you. In this case, it's Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. You know, they're all going to be following the same tune.
While, yes, the music industry, film industry, and print industry have shifted digitally, they still offer the option of buying CDs and vinyls. They still offer the option of buying DVD, Blu-ray, so on and so forth. The print industry, they still print paperback or hardback copies, but where the video games industry is headed isn't. We're mainly doing digital, but physical will still be.
Yeah, and so that's another thing. We used to have floppy disk. We upgraded to CD because it gave more space. Then we upgraded to like USB and portable hard drives because it gave more space. And now they're saying no. Now, instead of having, disc or being able to have physical, it's always going to be digital. Sure, you could download it on that portable hard drive, but we're going to turn the access on and off instead of a disc where, well, they can turn on and off unless it's Anthem where it's always online. If it's not an online game, you have control over that if it's a disc. But if everything is online and everything is digital only, well, sorry, you want your money back? No, you consumed it. Tough cookie. What's that? You didn't finish it? Sorry. And this is why I'm becoming more pro, setting the sails, becoming the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm more Johnny Depp at this point because these companies don't care about you. They don't care about preserving, and they don't care about wasting your money. They just want your money. And if they don't care about you, listen, every good consumer has a right to make decisions. And sometimes it's consuming their content in other ways. That's the best way to do it.
An option for those who enjoy that, we will not be doing physical at all. And the virality of all of this cannot be understated. In just 24 hours, the PlayStation post signaling the end of physical media has garnered a whopping 88.5 million views. And the replies here are garnering millions of views and tens of thousands of likes, talking about the death of ownership and the death of preservation, discoverability, and killing publishers and developers. And then we got posts like, this one right here, stop selling digital games for the same price as physical.
There's other games from PlayStation I didn't plan on playing, but I think now I'm going to find those channels that do no commentary, and I'm going to stream and play them so I can help other people not have to spend money. Yeah, I'm gonna fair use by giving commentary and my thoughts on the game. It's fair use, and you guys can choose to consume the games that way so that you don't have to give Sony your money either. It's fair game, Sony. We don't owe games. You don't owe us having to buy your games to see what they look like. We could play hardball too, bitch.
Ones also garnering incredible virality here. And you've got Domino's Pizza chiming in. We'll get to that in a bit because that's also gone incredibly viral. But yeah, the rebellion is full on.
It's funny.
People telling Sony to essentially go fuck themselves, highlighting the massive library of physical media that people have purchased that, you know, they may not be able to carry on to the next generation, and just the very depth of that kind of collection. And there's every indication that Xbox is set to follow soon, with Jess from Mundo Central highlighting that Xbox Helix.
Again, we're shitting on PlayStation now. You will see people also shit on Microsoft, and then you also see people shit on Nintendo. Though everyone kind of expects Nintendo to do this because Nintendo's already shit. They make great products, but they're still shit. They're anti-consumer.
Will also not likely have a disk drive, though apparently Xbox is working on a method to have a disc to digital feature where you can digitize a physical game collection, but that is ultimately like a band-aid to an issue that in the long term will have ramifications.
And here's the thing, how often is that going to happen? How often is that going to carry forward? Does that mean every game's going to carry forward? Like you're going to continue with every console you're going to make the next generation, everything's going to follow forward a digital version of it? I mean, realistically, if everything's digital, that's how it should be. Right? Like if you paid for something and everything's digital and the next console is also digital, theoretically there shouldn't be any backwards compatibility issues. You should just, it's digital, play the fucking game.
That will be, I mean, forever lasting.
Like PC,
this is just a patch to something that is ultimately headed towards a direction we don't want. The only platform right now.
I want to be very specific. A PC, the only reason you couldn't play something is if you didn't have the specs. But if you're upgrading every time, then older games should also be able to play on it as well. You just have to lower the specs.
That is still supporting physical media is the Nintendo Switch 2. Though any game released via game key cards, I mean, it might as well be as good as digital, though there is proper physical media on the Nintendo Switch 2 for many games, especially where first-party games are involved. Those games, all of that data tends to be housed in the cartridge, where many years down the line, when services shut down, as long as you have the cartridge, you can still play those games. But this feels like ultimately a transition period. It feels like in the next generation of consoles, Nintendo may very well forego physical media.
Which, at this point, I feel like the Nintendo 2 is equivalent to the Wii U. The Wii was fantastic. People loved it. People love the Switch. The Switch was a fantastic, like, I bought two. I bought one that's docked, and I bought one, this Pokemon, which I need to actually update it. But I bought this sucker so I could take it. Maybe I'll take it with me and play it tomorrow. But you could take this on the go, and I liked it. I bought two of them. But the Switch 2, like, I haven't bought that shit. And honestly, it feels like it's the Wii U. It has no real games. There's nothing really. I've not seen anything that's dramatically improved about it. It just feels like, hey, we made the Wii 2. It's called the Switch 2.
As well, hard to say for sure. And PC has been all digital for a long time now, save for a select few exceptions. Though you've got platforms like GOG that are DRM free. So even if it is all digital, when you do purchase something from GOG and you download the installer, that installer is something that doesn't require an online connection and something you got to keep forever, as if it were physical.
Yep. Gotta love GOG.
Media, so that's a good compromise there, but you know, Steam doesn't have that. Though at the very least, PC is an open platform and you can still crack games, you can still emulate stuff. PC, because of its open nature, does allow for preservation, albeit in less official ways. But yeah, the concerns surrounding the future.
Just say it with your chest. Say what we're all saying. You're saying this, we're Pirates of the Caribbean, and I will say it openly because fuck you.
That PlayStation just
listen. If it's wrong to pirate, then it's also wrong to lie to your consumer saying you're buying something when you're not actually buying it. You're purchasing a temporary license that can be removed. There's no safety security for you. You know, the government's not doing their job to protect people, and they're not. Listen, you know, we're about to celebrate 4th of July, and if maybe we've already done it, but I'm recording on the day before 4th of July. Our ancestors threw tea in the water. They said, fuck the taxes. They fucked the big man, and they started a revolution. And it pissed off the people making the rules. Well, guess what? I think gamers, it's time to piss off the people making the rules and throw the fucking tea in the water. In this case, you're making copies of the tea. And then you're saying, fuck it, we're not buying your tea. We're just going to make copies of our own.
Opened the floodgates towards. yeah, they're extremely warranted, and the rebellion is incredibly swift and incredibly vicious. Even this video right here from back in 2013, where PlayStation dogged on Xbox because of the way they were handling physical media, and in this video where they reinforce the advantages of physical media, you're seeing comments pop up saying this is how you own yourself 13 years later. People are dogging on this video all these years after because of the sheer hypocrisy of Sony releasing a video like this and then not adhering to the very ideals that they present.
That video is the perfect embodiment of corpo greed. They act like they give a shit, but Sony has gone mask off. They don't care.
Here, you've got people going back to tweets like this from 2013 where PlayStation is all about supporting used games and PS4 game discs, only for them to completely renege on that in 2026. And so you've got comments coming in saying, shame, shame, shame. What the fuck happened to you? Fast forward to 2026, so on and so forth. And I mean, this is such a major topic of conversation that, of course, there's already a topic on Twitter, and the top comments are vicious and loud and viral. And this is easily the most talked about topic on Twitter right now. I mean, look at the trend here: 1.5 million posts surrounding Sony ending physical game discs for PlayStation titles from 2028 as of the recording of this video. And among the most viral posts and among the most viral mockeries of PlayStation comes from frickin' Domino's Pizza UK when they quote tweeted PlayStation and said, "Makes about as much sense as us changing to digital pizzas," garnering millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes. But even more viral is this post right here where they made an official statement, a mock statement that reads, in response to trends in the gaming industry, as of April 1st, 2027, Domino's UK will cease production of physical pizzas and shift to production of digital pizzas only. Consumers will be able to download our full range of delicious pizza codes and, using the power of the imagination, enjoy them in an entirely virtual sense. This has garnered, 7.6 million views and hundreds of thousands of likes. But yeah, it's the excuses that Sony uses for this that are especially insulting. Them talking about driving innovation and how players can access games and provide choices when this is a regression of innovation and it's providing less choices for consumers, and them talking about adapting to consumer trends. And yeah, it is true that most purchases these days on video game platforms happen digitally, but there's still a significant number of people who still value physical discs, and at the very least, that should be some kind of option. The complete removal of that option is where the issue lies. Even KFC is getting in on this, saying, breaking news, KFC will stop offering its physical format starting today. Its products can only be consumed through its app in fake PNG format. Also millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes. And you'll see across all of social media that a lot of not only like fast food companies, but a lot of companies around the globe are kind of getting in on this trend because they know that it's free marketing and they can dog on PlayStation and they can win points. But I say let this be a viral trend because it might just be enough of a marketing liability for Sony and PlayStation, enough of a PR liability that maybe they'll be forced to change their stance. They have done so before when backlash got harsh enough, and hopefully this will inspire that. Obviously, only time will tell. But beyond companies outside of gaming like fast food chains and many others, you've got actual entities in the gaming space like Gamester here, a company that's all about gaming peripherals, releasing a statement saying Gamester will cease production of physical copies of who put out the following in the industry. We at Eternum Games is something that we cannot fight against.
We've already reacted to this moving forward.
Unless Sony changes their minds. And so the only way to fight is to dog on Sony until they change their minds. To be so vocal that Sony cannot just
bully the billion-dollar company. Absolutely. They don't give a shit about you. In fact, they're bullying consumers by forcing you to pay higher prices. They don't give a shit about you. Bully the billion-dollar company.
Turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. You've also got companies like Gamefly, who are renters of video games and movies, who came out with this statement. We're disappointed. Likes of Larian Studios, one of the developers there, came out and talked about how heartbreaking the recent news is, especially because they pulled this right here. Larian released discs for PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC that housed all of the data in them. The fact that they even went as far as doing a physical version for PC, that is actually unprecedented in this day and age. And yeah, they went all out because a lot of physical media, even before this announcement, was kind of worthless because of the fact that they still required like an online download in order for the discs to be functional. And with Larian, they made it so that that's not a thing. There's no DRMs. Like, you get 2 discs on PlayStation 5 so you can fully install the game on the console forevermore. Same with Xbox and with PC, same thing, completely DRM free. And now with PlayStation removing the option of physical media outright, and with Xbox likely following soon, such a thing will no longer...
Been collecting for a bit of years. Got a lot of mint in box games in my collection. One room in my house, just game collection. My wife hates it, but it's my hobby. I mean, that's another thing. Like, there. Imagine you could also, I don't know if you have a kid. If you ever do have a kid, you can share those great, experiences with your kid. You're not going to be able to. People are not going to be able to do that in the future, which is just a shame.
Longer be possible even if developers want to do it. The option, the choice has been completely stripped and removed. You've also got companies like Bethesda and the Elder Scrolls team dogging on PlayStation with this promotion right here for the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered for the Nintendo Switch. to that game for as long as you take care of your physical products, as it should be. So Bethesda's not had a lot of W's in the last few years, but this right here is, in modern Bethesda terms, a rare Bethesda W, and it's something that is also going viral. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. Sony is the butt of the joke of the entire internet currently.
Yep.
Every company, every individual, every entity is taking pot shots at Sony and being vocal and expressing disdain against what Sony has done here, what Sony has kickstarted here, the floodgates that have opened to a less bright future, to a bleaker future, to a more dystopian future where we, the consumers, get to have less control and less agency.
You will have no control. You will own nothing. You will suck our dick and give us your money. That's what these companies want. They want to remove every option for you to fight back. They don't want you to, you know, I have bought several games, you know, on off-market ways. I actually purchased, just not, Sony did not see any of that money. Sony doesn't like that. They want all direct revenue coming to them. That's their way of, you know, all the $400 million fuck up of Concord and Marathon and all these other failures. This is how they're trying to make all that money back, is by fucking over the consumer. Instead of taking ownership and saying, hey, making quality products, making quality services to get more, you know, revenue, to get more money. Instead, fuck you. You will do whatever we want you to do.
Over our access to the products that we purchased, that we bought, not that we rented, that we bought. People are also spotlighting Hideo Kojima predicting the future yet again, because back in 2021, Hideo Kojima straight up said eventually even digital data will no longer be owned by individuals on their own initiative. Whenever there is a major change or accident in the world, in a country, in a government, in an idea, and a trend, access to it may suddenly be cut off. And yeah, that's exactly where we're headed. And this isn't some like crazy prediction. We all kind of felt this is where we were headed, but now like it being a reality.
Here's the deal. I think this was going to happen. But I think the idea that discs are outdated is just not true. There's still music disc. There's still DVDs. People still collect box sets. Like the amount of times when I worked at Walmart, the amount of times they would re-release like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars on Blu-ray. That was the change. It went from DVD to Blu-ray disc, but there were still discs. So the idea that the trend is that everyone does digital is not true. People still buy music on a disc. Sure, they also use Spotify, but people still buy it, and still people buy DVDs. Not everyone streams. And listen, I know it comes at a cost, but that again, that's more on the company, because I guarantee you, if you were to look at how much Sony wastes, it's probably a lot. Not talking about the big ass waste that was Concord, which is $400 million.
It being here and now thinking about the prospect of what we'd lose if we let this future be normalized, that's why people are now getting up in arms about it. The backlash has gotten so vicious against Sony and PlayStation that they've actually taken a social media timeout, as reports pushsquare.com here. Sony's usually posting something every single day on not only like Twitter, but also on YouTube, uploading things, posting things. And we have seen zero activity since this July 1st post right here, highlighting the death of physical media. You can see that above that is just a pinned post from June 2.
They're hoping that it'll go away, people will shut up and consume product, which is probably going to happen, because the amount of people are about to suck PlayStation's dick for Grand Theft Auto. By the way, I'm not going to buy it. Wasn't planning on buying it, but now I plan to also watch it and stream it of no commentary runs for you guys. So that'll be fun.
2026. But other than that, Sony has gone radio silent, because they know that any post that they make right now, any video that they upload, anything that they publish will be met with such backlash and scrutiny that it will do more harm than good to post at this point. So they've gone radio silent. That's how badly this right here has negatively impacted them in terms of goodwill and the perception of the general public. If you are as outraged about all this as I think you should be, then continue being vocal, continue dogging on Sony and PlayStation, continue mocking them, continue berating them, and continue highlighting your disdain towards one of the most anti-consumer things that a company can do, which is not just focus on digital media, but at least have some physical media there, but entirely kill physical media, which is something that other mediums haven't done. Again, like you can still get physical media for music, for films, for, you know, for paper stuff, for print. There's still some avenue of physical media, even if it's the less popular option. At least the option is there. But with gaming, they're trying to take that option entirely away, and that is not right. That is not a future you want. That lack of choice, and in turn, the lack of preservation, the lack of ownership, the lack of agency, the lack of reselling ability, the lack of so many things that will get lost. If physical media gets completely eradicated from gaming, it cannot be understated. So continue to call the shit out. We cannot let this stand. In the meantime, I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on all of this in the comments below. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time.
I like this guy. I'm gonna subscribe to him. I saw it. I saw the video. I'm gonna give it a like too. I'll give the link down below to you guys so you can check it out as well. Mr. Ew, I'm waiting to buy GTA. I have a feeling it's not going to be what we think it will be. For $100 and for how much money they spent $2 billion on that fucking game, and what, how many years? If that game isn't giving you a blowjob, what the fuck are we doing? Like literally, you're paying $100 or $80, whatever. They're literally milking you to buy all this DLC, which is just the base game that they're splitting up into DLC, which is shitty. And then you're also going to have to pay subscription because we know that's what's going to happen for, you got to play GTA Online as just for playing, but I guarantee you're going to have to pay subscription for that too. Yeah, let's be honest. Unless that game is sucking thy dick or fondling my balls, I'm just going to, set sail on YouTube, watch the videos on it, stream it for everyone else who doesn't want to spend $108 fucking on it, and we'll all have a good time knowing that we saved money and that Sony didn't get it. But like I said, the link to the video will be down below. Shout out Young Yeah. Really like it. I love the background. I'm actually really jealous, to be honest. I'm really fucking jealous. That is such a sick ass background. That's the kind of stuff I try doing for myself, but this is sick. I love that. Some of these the statues though are freaking expensive. I looked at them. They're so pricey. They're so pricey, but respect. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.